We create the world of the dream. We bring the subject into that dream, and they fill it with their secrets.
Then you break in and steal it.
Well, it's not strictly speaking legal. It's called Inception. Already.
Hey guys, I'm Kevin.
I'm Jake.
And this is Movie Matters. We are kind of steering away from 80s movies this year. It's 2026, which is wild. Hope everyone had a great new year and a great holiday. We are doing Inception from 2010, one of my favorite movies of all time, one of Jake's favorite movies of all time. And we're doing, that's pretty much the theme of this month. We're doing kind of our common favorites, Jake and I. Mm-hmm. And this movie... It's really, really special to me because it's the year we graduated high school, 2010. And I mentioned it in the last video of our review, our roundup of all the movies we did in 2025. I wrote in pretty much everyone's yearbook to go see this movie because I thought it looked so amazing. And this was kind of back when, and I still kind of do this, but I did a ton of movie research before movies were even out. I would always look at IMDb and see, what my favorite actors were in the process of making or had in pre-production. And I had been following this movie from like the get-go of its inception, pun intended. And I just was like, this is going to be awesome. It's got a stacked cast. It's Christopher Nolan. And then this trailer came out that we just watched, and this trailer deserves an Oscar. This trailer, is so sick. Really makes the movie look so awesome and so action-packed.
Did Nolan cut the trailer?
I don't think so, but yeah,
it easily could have been.
Yeah, it's such a cool trailer, and it's funny because, obviously coming from the '80s movies that we're doing, this trailer's so significantly different than all our '80s movies, and really hypes you up and makes you want to really watch the movie. And the music really sets the mood. I feel like not a lot of trailers of this day and age really do that anymore.
No, the art of a good trailer has been lost for whatever reason. It's weird. They're just not good anymore.
No. And I looked at in my opinion, almost 2009, 2010 was kind of peak cinema for us.
A little bit, yeah.
There's so many sick movies that came out around then, like Inglourious Bastards, The Hurt Locker, Avatar came out and obviously revolutionized a lot of CGI. I know, but I'm talking big box office, Avatar's still present this, literally today. But it's just interesting.
Took them 20 years to make the second one. So.
I know. District 9, one of my all-time favorite sci-fi movies ever, came out in 2009, which I think deserved to win the Best Picture over Avatar, believe it or not.
It absolutely should have. Avatar is a garbage movie, and I will stand by that.
Yeah, and maybe I'm going to double check, but I don't know if Avatar won Best Picture. I think it did, but either way, District 9 should have won that year. In 2010, when this came out, Inception, Toy Story 3, Black Swan, The Town, Shutter Island, Social Network. Town,
I forgot that came out in that
the
year
same
too.
year.
Jeez, dude, yeah. The end of high school was totally stacked for us.
Yeah, and Jake and I went to the same college, at least for the first 2 years for me, and then I moved to Arizona. But we, that was Jake and I always would see movies and watch movies all the time. So, obviously that's why we do this podcast, is because we love movies. But yeah, such a sick lineup of movies. And I'm stoked to be doing more relevant, not necessarily relevant, excuse me, more recent movies or more movies that are near and dear to our hearts. Not to say that we're not going to watch movies we haven't seen or anything like that, but this movie fucking rocks. I've seen this movie a handful of times, so many times.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be able to give you an estimate of how many times I've seen this because it's so many. Just I think I might have seen this at least 2 times in theaters.
I'm pretty sure I saw it 3.
Yeah.
I saw it in
so
IMAX, I think, when it came out, and then once.
I'm pretty sure you and I saw it in theaters at least
Yeah.
once together.
Definitely.
And then, yeah, however many times we watched it, like at your house in college, and
Yeah.
on my own. So yeah,
It's so good. And
I'm pretty sure I had this on my like video iPod, and I'd just like watch it like randomly. So
nostalgia. Yeah, I mean, I bought the 4K Christopher Nolan collection when it came out. I watched it then, and I hadn't seen it. I haven't watched this movie in probably a few years.
same. Yeah.
So it was really good to watch it, and it's a long movie, and we talk about long movies. I mean, this movie's 2 hours and 28 minutes.
I forgot how long this movie is.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like it's
No.
over 2 hours. So
No,
you
not
know,
at all.
that's why it's easy to forget.
Yeah, it's great. It's also it's really high up on IMDb's top 250 movies of all time. It's number 14, which is really high up there. Well deserved. It was nominated for 8 Oscars. It won 4: cinematography, sound mixing, sound editing, and visual effects. Wally Pfister did the cinematography. I think the cinematography is awesome in this movie.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's weird how Wally Pfister like disappeared off the face of the earth. I don't know if you've like followed any of his subsequent films, but he did cinematography, and then he did that movie. I forget the name of it, but he did it with Johnny Depp. He like directed it. He like tried moving in directing, and the movie failed miserably, and he basically was like put in movie jail and like has not surfaced since. But I mean, he did like a ton of Christopher Nolan movies. He did Dark Knight. He did Batman Begins. He did The Prestige. I mean, he's been killing it. I mean, he hasn't really shot a movie since 2018. He did Moneyball, which is an amazing movie, and shot so well. He did The Italian Job.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, like he is awesome, and he just like disappeared off the face of the earth. But yeah, he hasn't directed since 2019. Transcendence is what he did in 2014, and that kind of like fucked his career up a little bit. Yeah, pretty interesting. But I love the cinematography in this movie. This was like, again, a time where I was like obsessed with all these people, like DiCaprio, Nolan, Pfister. I love Tom Hardy. Like this movie introduced me to Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
And like
I completely forgot he was in this movie until he shows up, and I was like, "Oh shit, Tom Hardy's in this."
He's
I
like
was
the
like,
best
I
part.
totally forgot.
Yeah, he's like literally the best part of the movie. His
Yeah,
like
he's
charisma
awesome.
on screen is so good. Yeah, as of 2025, so last year, which is funny, this is one of the top 100 highest grossing movies of all time. So it made a ton of money, excuse me. 840 million worldwide on a $160 million budget, and that's crazy for this being an original film.
Well,
So-
and 160 million for who's in this movie and what they do in this movie is kind of wild. Like,
Yeah.
if it was made today, I would expect it to be like 400, like or something like that. You know?
Yeah, pretty crazy. Leo apparently made $59 million from this film, probably because of back end box office, receipts and stuff like that. $59 million in 2010, like that's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. There's so much to talk. Like I have so much I want to talk about this movie, and like I'm sure I'm gonna forget like 90% of it. But I wrote down a ton. I don't like. Just give me give me some give me something, Jake. What do you got?
So I'll give you the one thing I really wanted to talk about, and then we'll dive into your list. And I'm sure I'll have all kind of input on everything that you're going to bring up too.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to talk about like the biggest impact to me that I noticed this time watching it analytically, like, for the first time. This movie has the absolute perfect 3-act structure. And like what I noticed also is that the third act has its own 3-act like substructure, which is super cool. So I'll break it down real quick. So
Love this.
Act 1 is the setup, right? You get a very fast introduction into what the like dream infiltration is, what the extractors are and what they do, and the problem, which is that Leo for some reason can't go to see his family in the US, and he's kind of globe hopping, you know, trying to, you know, scrape together money to survive basically. And that there's some sort of shadow corporation that's like after him for botching the job with Saito.
Yeah.
And you get the base premise of the movie, which is Saito has a job that he wants DiCaprio to do for him, which is infiltrate the mind of Robert Fisher, who is the heir to a massive energy company. And he wants him to break up that company so that his own, Saito's own company, can leverage like the market or whatever in a better way, right? Super complex, like,
Yeah. But also kind of
concept.
simple.
And yeah, like, I think the thing I love most about this movie and why I think it's so successful is that it takes such a high concept and breaks it down into like pretty digestible elements that like you don't have to like, and like a lot of people, I think if you bring up Inception to them, they're like, oh, I didn't understand that movie. You know, but like,
Which makes me laugh every time.
I mean, it does make me laugh because it's not that hard, but
No.
in the end,
In my opinion.
like, most people will thoroughly enjoy watching it. Like, even
Yeah.
if you can't piece together every little like thing, most people enjoyed watching it, and I think would recommend it to someone else, which is, I think, why it's so successful. Like, it's thoroughly
Yeah.
entertaining, even if you can't grasp the high concept, you know, dream heist, you know, kind
Yeah,
of
dream
thing.
within a dream structure, if you will, too.
Yeah. So Act 1 does a good job of setting all of that stuff up in a relatively compact package. And when I say relatively, it's like 30, 45 minutes like that Act 1 takes to establish what's going on. And then Act 2, for like any heist movie, is building the team, getting ready, and then part 1 of the heist.
Yeah.
Done extremely well, and like they introduce the characters like so well. Like you get you know, Michael Caine is his father and is Leo's father, or Cobb's father-in-law. He introduces him to a student who at that time was Ellen Page. But I don't even know her name in the movie.
Adriane or whatever, Ariadne.
It's a really complicated
I think it's Ariadne.
first name.
Yeah, it's Ariadne.
Ariadne. And she is introduced as his like new architect, and then you get the little crumb that like Leo is like a fantastic architect, but he can't do it anymore because of question mark. You know, which is later revealed. Like the payoffs in this movie are just so fucking good. Like,
Yeah.
just little breadcrumbs like all the way through, and they build this not only like the world building around this like dream, you know, like heist thing, but like also like Leo's like story is breadcrumbed so well. And like you get little bits of information like throughout each act. It's just it's an awesome writing all the way through.
Yeah. And the stakes are so good because of all that.
Exactly. Yeah. And like that was gonna be my next part of the breakdown.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
So like
Shut
Act
up.
2, I mean, well, I might as well just bring it up too. So Act 1, the baseline stakes are established that Leo needs to get back to wants to get back to his family, right? And he can't. And there's the Shadow Corporation that's after him. So like, okay, like not a great situation. Then Act 2, you know, the team gets together, they introduce the characters in like a really cool sequence of after Ariadne, we get Tom Hardy's character, and then the chemist.
Yep.
And like Joseph Gordon-Levitt is kind of developed through Act 1 and Act 2. You introduce Robert Fisher, his dad, and his godfather, and like the business partner, with his dad, whose name I can't remember right now.
Browning.
That's right.
Played by Tom Berenger.
Yeah. So in Act 2, by the middle of Act 2, I think you have everybody established very well. I'll add, and then it starts the heist, where they're in the raining like cityscape.
Yeah.
And they're gonna kidnap Fisher.
Real quick, do you know why it's raining?
Because the chemist has to take a leak.
Yes.
And it's his dream.
I love that.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, so then Act 3, I think, starts once the heist goes sideways. And Robert Fisher is revealed to have had self-defense training for his subconscious, and his subconscious starts attacking the heist team. From there's like a substructure, and then this is where it gets complicated, because like act 3 is the most complicated part of the movie, but like there's a 3-act structure or substructure, I'd argue, within the 3rd act of the larger movie, which is Dream Level 1, 2, and 3. So you have Dream Level 1, which is the cityscape, and the van, basically, that where everything takes place through the end of the movie. Then you have the hotel level of the dream, which is the next layer, where they're convincing Fisher that he's under attack, and they're trying to get him to like allow them willingly into his subconscious.
Mr.
Again,
Charles.
Then you have the dream within a dream the dream within a dream within a dream. That's that like military installation, like military base thing that they're infiltrating to get into, like plant the Inception, idea. And then those are kind of all like interwoven together through Act 3, to simultaneously show what's happening within each dream level, as like one person stays behind in each subsequent level. So in the 3rd act, we learn, in Act 2, we learn that DiCaprio, or Cobb, had gone to limbo with his wife and had been stuck there for like 50 years in limbo time, before they were able to get out, and that something happened in limbo that caused his wife to like lose her grip on reality and commit suicide, thinking she would wake up from a dream, which I don't know, doesn't generate more stakes, but I think it helps reinforce Leo's or Cobb's family situation stakes, that like he has to get back to his kids because they don't have parents, and he needs to be there for them, and it really helps develop his character a bit more on why he wants to get back to them.
Yeah. 100%. Like his journey is really him being the main protagonist, his character driven journey is so well done in this movie.
Yeah. And we learn that also gives us the kernel of information that he's guilty about her killing herself, because he says that it's his fault. Even though I think Ariadne says there's no way it could have been your fault. But then we learn in Act 3 that it was his fault, because he is the one that basically invented Inception and planted the idea in his wife's mind that this is not reality, which is such a good like plot point, and really I think ties everything together so well, because like throughout the movie everyone's saying like Inception can't be done, and Cobb is always like, yeah, it can, I've done it before, and like he's never super enthusiastic about it, and like this explains why, you know.
Yeah.
And then you have the you know, obviously they like, infiltrate through the different levels, they get to the final moment of catharsis for Fisher, where you know, his dad has the pinwheel in the safe, and he's like, oh, so all along my dad really did love me, and like, you know, blah blah blah, and like I'm gonna break up the companies and start my own thing to, you know, show him how, or make him, you know, proud of me, or, you know, whatever. And then that's mirrored by Cobb's own catharsis of like letting go of his wife and moving on, and then finding Saito in limbo, and Saito's, you know, reminded of the deal that he made, you know, like 50 years ago or whatever it was, and then they both, you know, escape limbo. But yeah, I mean, it's like the way it's structured is just so well done. The writing is incredible. Not just like the dialogue, but the plot structure, and like we've been saying, those little kernels of information all linked together. Like, there's nothing wasted in this movie. There's no throwaways. Like, it's just so immaculately constructed. I think that's probably why like it's like latched into me like so well. And like, if you would have asked me when I was in high school, like, why do you like this movie so much? I would have just been like, I don't know, it's just fucking awesome. But like, yeah, since we've been doing this for like 2 years, you know, now I'm like, oh, like they did that and they did that, and like, oh, it's so good. Like the payoffs and the stakes are like so good. Like, you know, so yeah, I mean, like, it's made me appreciate it even more, you know, which is really cool. So,
oh, that warms my heart, Shake. I love that. I mean, again, it's like, we talk about this all the time. It's like, with this podcast, we take a different perspective when watching a movie, because we want to dissect it even more than just being entertained and just watching a movie. And
well, and it happened, I'm an idiot, and I watched The Departed on accident this week before I watched Inception, which The Departed is coming near the end of the month. But yeah, I mean, the same thing, and like I'll save it all for that episode. But like watching it again analytically, I was like, oh fuck, like, oh my god, like there's just like so many parts. I was like, oh, they did it so well, like,
yeah,
you know,
it's
like
crazy.
Really got me like into it, you know.
Yeah, was like the one thing that kind of really stood out to me this time was just the writing. It's just, and that's like you said, like the 3-act structure and everything. Mm-hmm. It's so well done, and there's so many little payoffs. And like, call me a fucking idiot, but there's like one throughput line with Dom and Saito, and it's like what literally hooks them together in order to get from point A to point B. And it's that like whole speech about, you know, an old man, waiting to die alone, filled with regret. That whole saying that they have is so awesome. Yeah. And that's what like literally keeps them reminded.
Well, and I mean, like, they say it back and forth to each other like 2 or 3 times. 3 times throughout the movie. And then, yeah, that's the thing that like clicks both of them in limbo to be like, oh yeah. And then like, that's when Saito's like, and honor our agreement. And then like, they're both like, oh, and then they wake up on the plane. Like, yeah,
so mind-blowing.
Awesome.
Like, yeah, because Saito first says it when he's in the helicopter. He's like, like, come on, like, you've got one shot. And this, it's so funny because it's such a overused trope of, I've got one last job to pull off, and then I can, you know, have my freedom. That's such an overused trope in movies, but it's so, if done right, it's so, like, it pays off really well, and this movie does that.
Right. And like, he does, like, I love the way that he through lines it is so great, because Saito says it to him to convince him to take the job, and then like halfway through, Leo says it back to him, kind of as like being like a cheeky like asshole, you know, like, oh yeah, old man regret, you know, or whatever.
Well, and then he says it when Saito's like potentially going to die, when
Right.
he's shot, and like that.
But
raises
he
the stake.
kind of
It's
says
like,
it like tongue in cheek back to him like a
Yeah.
little bit, and then that's like the big key at the end to like pull the whole job back together.
Yes.
Like, yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, it's awesome. So yeah, the writing just stood out to me, and you know, Christopher Nolan wrote this movie. He writes pretty much all of his movies. You know, despite I think there's only one, and I think it's Insomnia that he didn't write, which is also a very underrated movie.
Did his brother write it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't. That's a good question, but I'll double check. But yeah, I mean this movie, it's just so well done, and yeah, I mean apparently DiCaprio helped like work on the script with Nolan. I read that he spent several months with Christopher Nolan, and he made, apparently according to Nolan, he made some extraordinary contributions to the script that really challenged me to make the script clear, but also follow its interior logic and really be true to the essence of the characters and the rules we set out. Nolan's wife and producing partner, Emma Thomas, said that the work DiCaprio did on his character with Chris made the movie less of a puzzle and more of a story of a character audiences could relate to. Mm-hmm. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because, again, I think his journey, his character's journey of, like, I want to get back to home, but it's like, you know, what's that inciting incident that's going to get me wanting to pull this job off?
Yeah,
or, like,
well,
to do this job?
I think that's why people can walk away from this movie being like, "Oh, it was good." It's like you might not understand the dream within a dream within a dream, stuff, but like his character through line and the arc with his wife is very clear and like very straightforward. Like
just him wanting to get back to his family. That's such a simple goal that most, like, pretty much everyone can relate to.
Right.
So I just think, like the inciting incident of him getting, offered this opportunity, and like the fact that Saito's so powerful that with one phone call he could just literally end this manhunt for DiCaprio is insane.
Yeah.
But like that is the inciting incident. Like Luke, losing or like the message from Princess Leia. Like that's the inciting incident that like brings him like out to face his destiny, and that's like the same thing. It's the hero's journey,
right?
And
like
it's simple.
And like what I liked about this movie initiating that hero's journey is like usually you have to take the hero and they have to like lose everything because then they have nothing left to lose to go on the adventure. But like Cobb is already there,
Yeah.
And like that gives him the freedom to take Act 1 and explain all of the crazy shit that's going on, instead of just focusing on Cobb's, losses and blah blah blah, and like freeing him up. It's like it's really ingeniously done.
Yeah, and Nolan's really the kind of master of like, let me start with the end of the movie, and then get into it, and then end with the ending. Which is pretty interesting how he does that. And it's such a mind fuck that he does with a lot of movies. But it's really cool. It's just like, it's such a tease of like, oh, let me try and remember this. Like, it opens with Cobb, waking up on a beach and then getting, pulled into old man Saito and him like just barely talking. And then it cuts into a dream, which is crazy. Which technically it was a dream before that. Again, kind of confusing, but
real quick, the only other thing that I wanted to touch on is how like the whole thing about like going into or shared dreaming is like super like complicated, or like could be. And I think we talked about this, I think, in Terminator 2 also, and the original Terminator, but like the best sci-fi movies don't go very far into details around how things work, and like, I think that's one of the best parts of this movie is they're like, yeah, shared dreaming exists, accept it. And you're like, okay. And then they're like, Yeah, it was a military technology in like a very like quick passing line. So like if you care about the origin of this, it's there. But like if you don't and you miss that line, whatever, it exists. You know, who cares?
Yeah.
And then like, you know, they don't do a whole bunch of time dwelling on the mechanics and the theory of like how this works and stuff. It's just you're just shoved into it. And it's like accept that shared dreaming exists, and then like then you're ready to go. Like your seatbelt's buckled and like you're on. You know, like it's really well done, and like the way he like slips it in the beginning just kind of forces you to like get on the train and like you're going, you know.
Pun intended.
And, like, yeah. Which it is on a train in the beginning. But
And the train's kind of a through line throughout, because that's how they wake up after limbo, is they kill themselves with a train.
Yeah.
And
so like I mean it's just like, again, impeccable like screenwriting and like structure and plot structure.
The only, I would say, mild complaint I have about the screenplay is there's so many fucking questions that characters ask. Like every character asks a ton of questions to help kind of somewhat explain like what's going on. And on IMDb it says there are 399 questions asked in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, including tag questions, subconscious is motivated by emotion, right? Blah, blah, blah. Cobb leads all the characters with 113, followed by Ariadne, 93, then Arthur, 44. In my opinion, Ariadne is kind of obnoxious in this movie with the amount of questions she asks.
But she's the only one that has no experience with
And that's,
this process, so...
Yeah, and I tried, like, I was a little worried that, like, upon my rewatch of this, I would be, like, really kind of focused on that, of, like, how annoying she was in subsequent watches that I've done before, because I always found her kind of annoying when I watched the movie. And again, that's just because of the questions she asks, not just her, like, not in general. But, and it didn't bother me this time, which is good. It's good. I think maybe because I have a tendency to do this where I'll repeat a bunch of things and I kind of burn things out. Like I'll watch the movie a whole bunch of times and it's like, all right, well, I don't really want to watch this movie for a long time. And I think I kind of did that with this movie because I loved it so much and watched it a bunch. And that's just kind of a trait I have of just like burning things out, which is funny. I mean, I get that from my dad with going to restaurants and just going there all the time and burning them out. But yeah, it's very interesting, the amount of questions. I'd say that's my only complaint. But again, I get why they have to do it. And I specifically understood it more so this time because I wasn't necessarily like looking at that as a negative this time around.
Yeah, and like I like never really focused too much on the dialogue in like previous watches. But probably because it's like actually like really good. Like there's not, like I said, like I don't think there's any throwaway lines in this movie. Like everything is really like precision driven to push some kind of point. Like,
yeah.
And I mean, like, yeah, I get like all the question asking and stuff. But I think it's all there to help drive either the world building or like the narrative. So I think it's forgivable.
Yeah. I mean, I know I've said this in past reviews of our movies that I think Christopher Nolan's a touch overrated. I almost take that back after rewatching this. He is a little like, I mean, maybe it's just because I think he's a great filmmaker. I just don't think he's the like all-time best filmmaker out there. That's why I say that in terms of his overratedness. I think he's definitely top 3. I think he's definitely top 3. Definitely 100% top 5, but definitely top 3. Like, I mean, it's all opinion based anyway. You know, it's all subjective. But I think he's a fantastic writer. I think he's a genius when it comes to writing, because like he comes up with all these concepts. He's also all these movies are original for the most part.
Yeah.
And he is one of the consistent filmmakers out there that draws a huge box office, like just because of his name. Like literally just because Christopher Nolan directed it, people are going to see the movie. Like the Odyssey.
Well, the Odyssey's insane. It's sold out opening day over a year before it's going to be in theaters.
Yeah.
Like it's ridiculous.
Which is kind of annoying because like I want to not everyone got a fair shot at that. Like people were selling tickets on eBay for like hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Which is dumb.
That's dumb. Yeah,
that's so dumb. Like
But-
that's just idiots trying to be capitalists. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I think he is a genius. I also think my favorite movie of his is The Prestige, and I think that is his most underrated movie, which is funny. And I think it's his best movie.
So, yeah.
Because everyone's always like, oh, The Dark Knight or Interstellar. Like, yeah, those are awesome, amazing movies. Are they his best? In my opinion, no. But they're still awesome. So that's just my clarification on me saying he's overrated. I'll still, don't get me wrong, I'm still going to see every one of his movies he makes. Of course. Because he's a great filmmaker. And he has that box office draw. And he has such cinematic qualities in a filmmaker. But personally, my hot take is Denis Villeneuve, hands down the best filmmaker, in my opinion. And he did Dune, parts 1, 2, and 3. He did Blade Runner 2049, yep. Yeah. Incendies, Prisoners. I mean, he knows how to make a fucking movie.
There's a lot. There's a lot of movies I haven't seen of his.
Arrival. I mean, oh my god, that. He's my favorite director. Period. I'll see anything he makes. But
saying that Christopher Nolan is your favorite filmmaker is kind of like saying Dark Side of the Moon is your favorite Pink Floyd album. It's like you gotta say something else.
Yeah, it's it's obviously, you know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. It's not original. Despite the fact that he's original, it's not original to love him, and maybe that's why I tend to steer towards another director.
Yeah.
But what's cool is, what I like about this is I don't know if you've read about this in the past because this has been out for quite a while. The roles he based the Inception team on are similar to the roles in filmmaking. So Cobb is the director, Arthur is the producer, Ariadne is the production designer, Eames is the actor, Saito's the studio, and Fisher is the audience.
Mm.
Have you read that before or seen that before?
No, but that's super cool.
No? Oh, shit. Yeah. So Christopher Nolan said, you write what you know, and he knows the Hollywood process. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how he based it on, which is cool, because that's the number one rule of writing is write what you know. At least that's how you'll get something written well. But yeah, I mean, the whole dream collapsing in the beginning. So Christopher Nolan is a huge James Bond fan. And what's funny is
it comes through in the opening sequence for sure. Yeah.
He's a huge, and the ending sequence, in my opinion, the Snow Dream, because that's straight out of On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which honestly is my least favorite Bond movie. I do need to watch it again. I've seen it once, and I was like, oh, it's George Lazenby. It's one Bond. He's only Bond once. This guy sucks. So I do need to I need to give it more credit than I normally don't. But yeah, I mean, what's funny is, Nolan has always wanted to direct a James Bond movie, and now Denis Villeneuve is directing the new James Bond movie, which is sick. The only thing I'm worried about is Amazon's creative control over it, because there are a lot of behind-the-scenes drama that might happen. We'll see. So I'm waiting with bated breath on that. But it's Denis, my favorite. I will 100% see it. I'm sure it's going to be fucking awesome. But the opening sequence with DiCaprio with the suppressor, putting the suppressor on his gun and catching the shell that's being ejected after he fires the bullet, and then silencing the guy that falls by like, you know, putting his hand over their mouth and catching them is straight out of James Bond. Honestly, it's even cooler than James Bond.
A lot of, yeah.
Like, so cool. And then like the water coming in as the dream is collapsing as he gets dunked is so cool. Like that cinematography right there is insane. And like that's that's done practically. That's not CGI.
The practical effects in this movie are fucking wild. Like they are so good. And like even the CGI in this movie is like pretty damn impeccable. Yeah. And like I'll give it a pass because
won the Oscar.
I mean, how old is this now? 15 years old? 16 years old?
Yeah, 16 years old now. Well, 15, it came out in the summer, I believe.
Yeah. But, like, you can kind of, like, you know, like, when him and Ariadne are sitting at the cafe and everything starts exploding, like, you can kind of, like, you know it's CGI, obviously. But, and, like, I mean, watching it in 4K makes it a little bit more obvious. But, like, I'm like, it's forgivable. Like, but, like, the scene where, like, the road flips up over itself, you can't tell.
No,
it's
that's
like
super
so
cool.
good. It's so good. Like, I don't, like, honestly, like, I don't know how he did that, but, like, it looks absolutely perfect, and it's wild.
Agreed. And, like, I literally just saw a clip online of Christopher Nolan's Tenet, which I don't love that movie. I don't think it's that good, personally. I do need to rewatch it. But he's like, Christopher Nolan didn't want to use CGI in a particular scene, so he had a hallway painted, like, as a background. So, like, even just something subtle as that is so cool. Like, that's old school filmmaking, and that's funny because our first movie is like this, where it's like, you know, Nolan's like loves practical effects and loves doing everything practical. Like Dark Knight, he did miniatures for Lower Wacker Drive and stuff like that. So cool. We love practical effects on this channel, and you know, coming from 80s movies that we love that have practical effects, this movie has a lot of that. Granted, it has a lot of visual effects, but it's still so fucking awesome, and we love that.
I mean, even the, like, little things, like when they're in the hotel bar and the van starts, like, drifting, and all the water and the gravity shifts and everything, like, it's so cool, and it's so well cool. done. Like, and, like, I think everybody knows about the spinning hallway. Like, that was all done practically, which is just so wild. Like, it's so awesome.
Oh, yeah. Like, what's crazy about that is Joseph Gordon-Levitt did, like, 99% of his own stunts for all of that, which is so sick. Like, that's so cool.
It's so awesome. Like, yeah, I mean, like, this is where, like, I think Nolan does deserve some, like, added credit for his desire to make everything as, like, realistic as possible. And, like, he really only uses CGI where it's, like, impossible to have done the thing, you know, without it. Yeah. Like the exploding and freezing, you know, elements in the dream world or whatever. So, like, it's just, like, any time where he's like, oh, I want to, you know, have the hallway flipping, but, like, yeah, let's just fucking flip a hallway, you know? Like, I want to flip a semi on LaSalle in Chicago. Let's just do it. You know? Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure you can still go to LaSalle and you can see where they, like, busted the road from flipping that truck too. Like, I mean, they, like, cool. paved it over, but there's, like, a big patch where they, like, did where cool. they had it, like, you know, flip and it smashed the road. But
yeah, very cool. Yeah, I mean, like, just every little thing about this movie's cool. I want to talk about the totems. You've got Joseph Gordon-Levitt's loaded die. That's a totem. You don't really see anyone else.
Awesome choice, by the way.
Yeah, you don't really see anyone else's except Ariadne. She has like a top or like a almost looks like the sari thing.
Well, I think it's a bishop chess piece.
Oh, okay,
if I'm remembering right. It's,
I don't know chess.
It's a chess piece.
Sorry,
but
that's cool.
She hollows it out, which is cool, so that the weight is unique. I think that was a pretty cool touch.
And then you've got Cobb's, which is the spinning top, which it truly actually isn't. Do you know what is?
No.
His wedding ring. His wedding band.
Oh, okay.
So,
because the top's not his, it's his wife's.
Exactly, and you have to, like, granted, it still works for him, but the real totem is the audience seeing that wedding band, in my opinion, which is fucking mind-blowingly genius from Christopher Nolan. Like, if you very particularly pay attention to scenes where he is wearing a wedding band, he is dreaming. When he's not wearing a wedding band, he is in the real world. And that can be reiterated from Michael Caine. Michael Caine was confused by the script and asked Christopher Nolan, what's going on? And Nolan responded with, what scenes you are in is real. Whatever scenes you are not in is a dream, pretty much. So, very interesting. So, that leads me to the ending of the movie.
Yeah.
Which is controversial or highly debated.
Yeah.
Is he dreaming? Is he not dreaming?
So, hopefully you watched the movie, but if you haven't, he spins the top at the end before he goes out to see his kids, and the camera kind of pans away and focuses on the top as it's spinning. It starts to wobble a little bit, and then it cuts to black. I think what Nolan was trying to communicate is it doesn't fucking matter, because he gets what he's looking for. He gets to be with his kids, and that's the end. Now, if you had put a gun to my head and made me pick, I think it's real.
Me too. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's his journey that has been completed. He has gotten back to his family, and that's his reality. It's not necessarily the audience's reality, which is so super cool. And Christopher Nolan's just like, hey, I'm going to put one last little fuck you in there. Being like, also it's genius because he's like, I want a movie that is going to be debated. Movies that are debated live in infamy.
Yeah.
Like, endings that are ambiguous live in infamy, which is fucking awesome.
The Sopranos.
I like the ending of The Sopranos.
I thought it's great. I thought it's so good.
I like controversial endings. Like, what's weird is like shit I don't like, most people like. Shit that I love, most people don't love. Like, have you been watching Stranger Things at all?
Not yet.
Okay, so a lot of people have not liked the final season. I've loved it. However, the finale, I fucking hated it. And like, most people loved it. It's very interesting. But that's a topic for another fucking episode or season or whatever. But this movie, I personally think if you really watch the movie, you shouldn't. I don't understand how people think he's still in a fucking dream.
Yeah,
really don't.
There's no indicators that between waking up on the plane and getting to his kids that he's dreaming suddenly.
And you
unless you're gonna say the entire fucking movie is a dream, and everything else is a dream within dreams within that dream, but like that doesn't make any sense. That's not happening.
And there's a very specific line that Cobb says. He's like, you don't like, how did we get here? When you get into a dream, you don't really know how you get there, and you just show up there. At the end, there is a clear progression of how he gets home. He's on the plane.
Yeah, exactly.
He goes through customs. He gets his bag. You know what I mean? He gets picked up by his father-in-law. Yep. And he goes back to his house. There's a clear progression of what he's doing. And that isn't like he's just thrown into, oh, I'm at home and I'm going to spin the top. My second point is that top, you mentioned it. It wobbles at the end. In every shot, when they spin the top and they show it when it's a dream, like specifically in Maul, exactly. When in Maul's safe or mind, it's perfect. It's spinning literally perfect. Versus when he, does it in reality, it wobbles and topples. Yeah. And but you could argue that when after he gets that little taste of Yusuf's like potion and like he goes into the dream world, he spins the top, but he drops it and kind of freaks out and then doesn't spin it from there. I think that's where people are like, oh, it's a dream now.
Yeah.
However, again, that's not his true totem. It's his wedding band. And in that scene, he is not wearing his wedding band. So that's what I think.
Well, I think the other thing, too, is that's the only time, that very end, is the only time where he spins the top and doesn't watch what happens. He
Yes.
leaves the room to go see his kids.
Yeah.
So to me, that means he is perfectly certain that he is in reality, and he doesn't need to see the top, fall. Like,
Yeah.
he's finally like 100%, certain. So,
Yeah. I mean, that's what's cool is like, it's debated, and again, but I think it's a clear decision.
I think so too. I think it's a cool little like thing to throw in at the end, like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if you really watch the movie, I think it's pretty obvious that it's reality.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. And you've got Hans Zimmer, who is the best fucking composer in the world,
Ever.
and you have Time by Hans Zimmer, which is like one of his best songs, and it's so fucking good and like so epic, and I just love when it kicks in and he wakes up on the plane and that song is just going, and it's just it's so epic and so good. I mean, fuck, it's an incredible movie.
Yeah.
I'm just looking through my notes and seeing if there's anything, because I mean, I took a shit ton of notes, but it's just like, again, it's mainly for me of progression of how the movie goes.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to see, like, if there's anything else. Not too much else. I mean, there's just little cool lines I wrote down. Yeah, I mean, this movie is incredible. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. Anything else you want to add, Jake?
No, I mean, I just like this movie checks everything that we harp on constantly.
Yeah.
It's got awesome stakes. It's got relatable characters. It's got a really well-structured plot. I wouldn't call it a straightforward plot, but it's got a really well-structured plot.
But it's original.
And it's original.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, and like at the beginning of the episode, we talked about how this was like in the peak like cinema era for at least us, like growing up, in the like later part of, or I guess the early part of the 2010s decade. And like, I think that was maybe the last like few years of like really truly like original cinema. Hopefully we get back to that, and we've talked about that, recently.
Yeah.
It's like movies like this are just like gone, or
Yep.
like we're not aware of them.
Either that, or they're just like no one's seeing them, or they're not being advertised well. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's funny because we come from all the 80s movies we've watched into this fucking banger of a movie that hits everything we love. So
Yeah.
it's a great movie to start the year off with, and I'm excited for this month and this year. We've got, what do we got? Mad Max Fury Road next.
Yeah.
Then we've got Snatch. Then we've got The Departed, which Jake just watched. But I'm stoked for this month because they're like my favorite movies of recent times. They're just movies that Jake and I love, and it's more recent movies that hopefully you've seen, that you can follow along with this review and see what we've picked out that we haven't before, or little trivia bits that we've come across, and we just dissect it and talk about it and see what we like about it, what we don't like about it. It's hard. There's really, again, nothing I really dislike about this movie. It's so good, and I'm sure there's going to be nothing I really dislike about any of the other movies we watch the rest of this month.
No,
Because
yeah, I mean,
again,
I'm
my
expecting
favorites.
the rest of this month to just be like super pumped hype fest. Like,
I'm stoked.
this episode. So,
And what's cool is, I mean, again, these are movies I've seen a ton of times, and
Yeah.
I was so excited to watch this movie, and I'm so excited to watch the other movies because I love them so much. However, I did just watch The Departed recently, but I will absolutely watch it again. It's because it came out in 4K, and I was like, I gotta fucking watch it.
Yeah.
This movie's so good. So I'm stoked to do the next movies that are coming, and hopefully you guys are too. And hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and hopefully you had a good New Year. And we'll catch you next week with Mad Max Fury fucking Road.
Let's go.
All right,
ya.
guys. Take care.